What up, though? Welcome back to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. I'm Brian Onrea. I got the homeboy WLPWR in the building.
Yes, sir.
Here at the Bandwidth Studios. You know what I'm saying? We got a very, very special guest in the building today. When you talk about Atlanta fixtures and Atlanta staples, you got to mention this guy.
Yeah.
He's so Atlanta, I had to get my throwback Steve Smith.
And you know what? I appreciate
my Atlanta Hawks hat. You know what I'm saying? I had to go way back for this, man. I'm talking about somebody who really got it out the mud for real.
Yeah.
Interning for like Dallas Austin, DJ Toomp, was integral in like helping out Ludacris and DTP back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Really made his bones as the marketing VP of the marketing for CTE and Young Jeezy.
Yep.
Before Young Jeezy blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he got some real skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a man who wears many hats. Coalition DJs. I think you were at the genesis of that. Coalition DJs?
I started that.
You know what I'm saying?
I co-founded
Let's go, man.
I'm talking about a new project manager for Urban at 1 RPM. We got Nick Love in the building. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I love it.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna let him keep going. Like, hey,
hey, listen.
Tell me more about myself. I can't wait to hear it.
This guy is great with these intros, bro.
He is. Like, that was solid. That was solid. I really appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. Well, man, listen, thank you for coming on the show, bro. Like, we really appreciate this, man.
Thank y'all for having me. First, like, while we on the microphone, because I set it off mic.
Yeah.
The place, amazing.
Thank you, brother.
It's dope what you're doing. I've been following the show. You guys have been, I told you, the interviews, y'all been nailing them. The people, the guests that y'all have had.
Yes, sir.
Dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I respect the people that y'all have had on. You know what I'm saying? Like, people ask me to be on panels and do interviews and podcasts and stuff all the time. And I'm not even to be funny, because I'm kind of low key, right? I don't want to be like, let me go on there and talk about myself on another thing. So I kind of lay low. And but I tend to step out for people that I respect, platforms that I respect, and this is one of them, man. So I'm super proud of y'all. This is super dope, man. And hey, anybody else who hasn't done the show, or anybody that you can't get on the phone, man, we on their head, and we're gonna tell them right now, if you haven't done the show yet, you tripping. It's you, because it ain't this. This is where it's at.
Man, we really appreciate that. And that means a lot coming from you, man, because like we understand who you are in this community, man.
I appreciate
it. We're gonna start talking about Atlanta, but we can also talk about the reach you have worldwide, man,
for sure,
and the things that you've done. I appreciate the fact, man, that like you take everything that I've seen you get involved with, I see you take it very serious. You know what I'm saying? So, there's the music, there's the management, there's the marketing. You even got into food, like you a foodie. And
very much so.
It's just like that. When you see
right.
somebody enjoying, you could tell when a person is enriched in their life with all of the things that they're involved in. Because some of us are like one-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just music. Or it's just whatever.
Which is sad, because you're limiting yourself.
You are, man. And I just want to give you flowers on that, man, and let you know, bro, that we see it, and the reason we invited you on the show is because of that. So
I appreciate it.
Welcome, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And you being born and raised in Atlanta,
for sure,
means something. Because I grew up in Detroit, right?
Okay.
And I
what
feel
side?
Like West Side.
Okay.
West side
okay.
And
I love it. I got family up there, so I'm tapped in up there.
But when I was 10 years old, I said I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I made up my mind back then, and it seems like it's been a gateway from Detroit to get to Atlanta.
It has a lot of y'all down here.
So I put on my Steve Smith today just for that particular reason. But I wonder from your perspective though, the early 90s, like what was it like growing up in Atlanta right as it was beginning to bubble?
Atlanta has always been a cool place, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's the big city with the small town feel, especially when I was coming up. Like, I remember being, born and raised here. I didn't have another city to claim. You know what I'm saying? People always be like, what's your favorite team? I'm like, the Falcons. They like, the Falcons suck. I'm like, but who else would I cheer for?
That's right.
Same thing with the Braves. Same thing with the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? I was here, born and raised here, cheering for teams that were terrible for a long time, right? Yeah. And so you come up in the city and you develop I think anybody who was here in the 80s, early to mid 90s, and especially if you grew up here, you developed a little bit of a complex from the people that moved down. Because everybody who came here, the first thing out their mouth was, man, y'all ain't even got, and back where I'm from, it's like this and it's like that. And it's like, well, damn, man, like, well, especially at that age, I'm like, well, I don't know nothing else. So I can't even tell you why we don't have the 24-hour this or the shop that you grew up on, or the type of food that you grew up on. It just you kind of became defensive at a time. You know what I'm saying? I remember coming to school in middle school. Like, I went, I'm from the east side. I'm from Decatur. Yeah. So I went to school. Like, Swiss Beats went to my high school.
That's crazy.
Like, Swiss Beats went to Redan for Lala. You know what I'm saying? These are people that I came up under. They were a couple of years older than me, and I remember like going to the football games, and the New York guys would have ciphers, and there'd be like 40 of them.
Yeah.
Like doing real hard ass New York Wu-Tang ciphers. And they used to like literally in the middle of Atlanta be spitting like, yo, these Atlanta niggas ain't shit. They fucking, I'm like, yo, like, what the? And we don't even, you know what I'm saying? So you start to kind of, you know, you get defensive about it. And I'll never forget, like when Goody Mob came through with the Fly Away record. And they like, if you don't like where I stay, fly. We was like, yes, this is exactly what we've been feeling like all this time. That's because everybody moved down here, and it's crazy because, you know, you moved down here for a better way of life, for, you know, the cost of living, for the weather, for all this stuff, all the great things about our city. But then you got down here and complained. So it made people that were from here be like, hey man, for real, fuck y'all. Yeah. And as we got older, we started to take more and more pride in who we are or were. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At one point. And so now you get I'm from real, you know, the real Atlanta, the true Atlanta. You start to see all these shirts about Atlanta influences everything. Yeah. I'm from the real Atlanta, the old Atlanta. Yeah. Those are things that we take pride in because we remember what it was before everybody showed up. Right, pre-Olympics. You know what I'm saying? You know, all, you know, the music boom when we were still considered country and slow. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know, era. We from that. The Freaknik era.
That's right.
Yeah. Everybody came from Freaknik.
Everybody came from Freaknik, but then they went home. Right. The Olympics came, people stayed. That's right. And now we like, yo, like, where did we go? Yeah. I always ask this, you know, to my people. I'm like, yo, man, so if everybody moved here, where did the Atlantans go? Yeah. Like, where did we move to? Yeah. Because it's always weird. Like you said, you're from Detroit. So some of my closest partners, like Snoop, that runs Escobar, that's 2 Chainz' partner. My man Dennis McKinley, that owns Crew Lounge and Original Hot Dog Factory. They're all from Detroit. Yeah. And so when they see each other, they're like, yo, and they start talking about home. And I'm like, well, I wonder if I moved to another city, would I run into a bunch of Atlanta folks and we could be like, you know what I'm saying? Because I see New Yorkers click up. I see Detroit people click up. I see Chicago people click up here, but I never see I never hear about Atlantans in other cities doing the same. Yeah. So I'm always curious about that.
Yeah, I think it might be that way now. I believe that like Atlanta has truly influenced a lot of people.
For sure.
Man, because, you know, you speak on when the Olympics came, that was one movement, but another really big movement was when Katrina hit. And it was like, yo, all of a sudden just a gang of people showed up to the A, bro, and it was another shift of culture, another shift of mentality. But yet, what I love about the A is we've always been able to just kind of keep what it is.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I can say we now because I've been here, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, we'll take you.
Come on. What I'm saying?
We'll adopt you. We don't mind.
But it's like, you know, I understand exactly what you're talking about, man. But I'm noticing, man, that like wherever we go, you know, whenever we step outside of our own zone, we run into people, man, that claim the A now, man, and it's starting to look good, man. So
yeah, it's cool, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's nice to be, you know, celebrated.
Yeah,
to a certain degree, you know, in certain circles, right? Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about, like I said before we got on, just the perception of Atlanta from people who have moved here or people who have never been, right? Like I was having a conversation a couple weekends ago, like, you know, you see stuff on Twitter or you see stuff on socials where it's like, Atlanta ain't this and Atlanta ain't that and these Atlanta people and Atlanta people. And the thing that I always find funny is that it'll be somebody from Detroit meet somebody from Chicago. Yeah. They fall out and they be like, man, Atlanta crazy. And it's like, no, y'all crazy. Right. Neither one of y'all are from here, but you're saying Atlanta people did a thing. And I'm like, we didn't have anything to do with nothing that happened with y'all. That's right. And especially with women. Women be like, man, these Atlanta chicks, they this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, but the girl you fell out with from LA.
That's right.
It's the craziest thing, man.
Wow.
It's frustrating to watch because it's like, we just get blamed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just like throw dirt on our name. It's weird.
Crazy. Now, I think a lot of us always loved Atlanta, though. Atlanta's like the place to be. Now, again, coming up, TLC, LaFace, all that was popping. How did you get in the mix with like Dallas Austin and DJ Toom? How did you get started?
So I missed the LaFace wave, right? Like, you know, I was too young. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever read the book The Outliers?
Yes.
So if you're reading The Outliers, in the book, they talk about, you know, kind of people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and how they caught a wave.
That's right.
And a lot of it in that book has to do with the fact that it ain't so much that they were just so much smarter than everybody. They just happened to be growing up in a certain city at a certain time when certain technology was available to them and they were able to gravitate toward it.
Yes, sir.
So you could have been Steve Jobs intelligence wise or stature wise, but if you grew up in middle America,
you missed
out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So same thing for Atlanta. There's a wave of people who happen to be 18, 19, 20, 21 in 1993, 94. You know what I'm saying? They were old enough to be interns, old enough to be in college, old enough to be, hitting the Freaknik heavy and like actually involved doing the nightlife thing. And they were, they were in the city when Babyface and L.A. Reid came through and took over. Yep. I was too young. I missed it. But from the time I was a kid, I always knew I wanted to be in the music business. Like I was the kid because I wanted to be an artist. Yeah. So when I was like 5, 6 years old and the teacher would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer was Michael Jackson.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to be a fireman, a policeman, and then, it wasn't no knock to them. It just, that was where my brain was. Yeah. I was the kid that would come downstairs. My mom would be like, hey, do that dance. Show your aunties how you do that, do that dance. I put the sunglasses on, my little Michael Jackson glove, and I'm moonwalking through the house. Like, that was me. And so when I got older, I started watching like CeeLo Green. I started watching Nate Dogg, and I'm like, oh shit, you can sing and curse at the same time? Yeah. I want it. No way. Because that's me all day. Like, I'm a bit of a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what served me well in this music business. Like, keep in mind, like, I'm a Grady baby. I'm an original A-Town kid, but I'm from Decatur. You know what I'm saying? My family had me at Grady Hospital and took me straight to Glenwood. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like real East Side kid. But we grew up in a crazy neighborhood, right off Glenwood. Then we would move. We ended up moving to Candler Road, and kind of going up and down Candler Road for years. Right. My daddy was hustling, so it was like I would stay in the house for a year, and we moved to an apartment, and then things would get good again, and then we move, and then we move back. That was just kind of my life for years. Yeah. But I found myself just gravitating toward, I want to be in this business. I don't know how to do it. And finally, as I'm singing in church, doing talent shows at high school, doing all this stuff, I click up with other people. So I had some homeboys of mine that we went to school with. And we all were just trying to chase a dream, man. I was an artist. I was an aspiring artist, bro. And I just started reading like Rolling Out magazine, Creative Loafing at that time, and just looking at the pictures and being like, who are these people? I want to get next to these folks. So I ended up at Georgia State going to school after I graduated, and Luda's there. Well, he's Chris Love at this time. He's on the radio, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to meet some of these people that I'm seeing their pictures of. Yeah. And, meeting, Dallas and Shaka and Luda and Emperor Cersei, people like that at the time, man. And just random luck. I just ended up, my partner, Big Mark, who was part of this group called The Backwoods. They had a group. They had a song called "You're Gonna Love Me."
Yeah, bro. Come on, man.
So B and Big Mark went to Redan together, and they were working their record. And
my boy Milwaukee produced that shit.
OG Milwaukee. Yeah. So my homeboy Big Mark, he was in the group, and I loved the record, and I saw it end, and I was like, well, shit, maybe I can kind of nudge my way in there. I don't want no money. I just want to be in the mix. Yeah. And I was able to get in there, man, and I never looked back.
Bro, you know what, man? I probably met you during that era.
Probably.
Because we was coming up from South Carolina around that time to meet with Milwaukee and work with them. Back when, what's my man, Novel.
Yeah, all them Novel, songwriter.
They was all at DARP working at that time, man. So, yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, DARP was the first studio I ever saw, and I was like, oh, this is what a studio is. You know what I'm saying? Like, before then, it was your partners that had a little setup in their house or in the garage. You like, this is cool. To me, that was everything.
Yeah, it's definitely the first studio I ever went to where I felt like it was a vibe in there.
I mean, Dallas was the man, though. Like Atlanta, you got to remember, in that LaFace era, that mid-90s era, Jermaine Dupri, Dallas Austin, and Rico Wade were like
kings.
Yes. Kings. Like, if you saw them in the streets, if you happen to run past them in the streets and you see them in their cars, you like, man, these dudes is. Yeah. You know how like New Yorkers talk about like Alpo? Yeah. And like how they like, man, I see them on the motorcycle. That was Rico. Rico was the coolest nigga in the world in the mid-90s, bro. And just seeing that movement and just seeing these guys get money off music was like, man, I want in.
Well, that's really what's the dopest part of Atlanta to me is it's such a community where regular people can end up in rooms with people that's popping that it's not like that everywhere else. Nah. You go to LA, bro, like you gotta fit in. You gotta be a part of some group of people or something like that. But in Atlanta, bro, I ran into Toomp years ago just at the gas station. And that's a relationship that got built from just chopping it up with him at the gas tank.
Greatest guy in the world, by the way.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And so that's what I love about the A. So yeah, I could see where that really came together for you. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I never look back, bro. Like I said, I was an artist. I'll never forget me and my partners who, ironically, as you know, and maybe we'll get to this part of the story, maybe we won't, but the people that I was doing music with, like, so we were in high school together. So when we all graduated, everybody kind of went their separate ways, but we kind of maintained our musical core. So we paid a guy by the name of Jason McPhee. This is one of my mentors to this day. He was at a studio called Meta Music. It was owned by this guy named Cal Funny. Jason had an office in there, and we paid Jason to consult us as a group. And so we go to him and we like, hey, so we got this music, we're ready to go. What do we need to do? And he looked at us and he said, okay, now he started looking around like, okay, who's doing the marketing? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And we looked at him like, what? I don't know. We thought we just made music and we'd be famous tomorrow. Like, that's what we paying you for. And he's like, well, y'all gonna have to do it. We like, all right, cool, whatever. And he started handing out jobs. He was the one, like, I got turned on to marketing because a man literally looked at me and was like, you seem like a cool kid. You do the marketing. And I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Having no clue what it was. And he didn't know that he changed my life that day, because the minute I was able to make money doing marketing, I never thought about being an artist from that day forward, because I was like, oh, like, because, you know, I'm probably 20 at this time. I ended up having a daughter maybe a year later, but I needed bread. And I was able to make money doing that, but I was never able to make money as an artist.
That's right.
I'm like, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying? This is an easy decision. You know what I'm saying?
That's important to hear, man, because you know what? It needs to be said right now as well. It's like a lot of people are signing up for the part of the business that they're not really that good at.
Nah.
It's like, it's okay, man, if you want to go into the side of it that helps make something dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you see a rapper that you know, bro, this dude's got so many other talents that rapping might not be what he should be doing.
I'm going to tell you what's even more frustrating than that. It's funny that you bring it up. Me and my man Ray Daniels, who you had on this show.
Yes, sir.
Me and him have been working on the book for a little while. And Ray, we need to get back and finish the book. That's kind of probably my fault. But, you know, and y'all know Ray is my guy. He's one of the smartest people you'll ever meet.
Absolutely.
But we've been working on this book, tentatively titled Shine in the Shadows. It might be, the title might be changing. But it's about jobs behind the scenes in the music business, because a lot of people just don't know what it is, man. And I'm gonna tell you, like I said, the most frustrating thing is meeting an artist and his crew. And the crew is just a bunch of his homeboys who are just really just hanging out. But you start talking to him and you're like, damn, like, if he don't have to just be a homeboy.
That's right.
He don't have to just be a nigga just leeching on. He could be the manager or the photographer or the social media guy, or, you know, the A&R. Like, he could actually have a function and be an earner for this artist, other than, and you know, not just a liability who's subject to just be around for some shit. You know what I'm saying? To go down and go wrong.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, man, this nigga got 50 people around him, not knowing that he could actually have 50
employees or people working
that are benefiting the business of it, keeping everybody out of trouble, keeping everybody busy, but actually giving them a sense of self-worth and value, and not just, I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm just, hey, if something happened to him, you know, I'm here to handle business. It's like, but you don't have to be that. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, because that's your partner, but you don't actually just have to be, you know what I'm saying, street security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so from that motivation of like wanting to get into marketing and realizing that not only is it something you were good at, but it also had a
great at, by the way.
Great at. That's good. So like, you know, what made you dig in? Like at the point where it was like, all right, cool, I did this for these folks, I made a little bit of money.
I realized nobody could do what I was doing.
Come on.
And that's not on no brag shit. What it was that as I was going to talk to DJs. Because that was how I got in. Because my role initially with the group was, you need to go talk to DJs and get them to play the record.
Work the record.
Okay, cool. So I would go to the club, and you know, the first time I don't know nobody, they don't know me, and I'm doing the, hey, how you doing? I'm Nick Love, whoop the whoop. And I kind of got one guy to play the record, and he was like, oh man, I kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? Give me a number. And I'm doing this. So after I did it for a few months, I realized I had built up a little kind of Rolodex, right? Now, you know, mind you, this is the days of the BlackBerry.
Yeah, bro.
So I got a BlackBerry, and one of the best things I ever did was in that BlackBerry, I would have like, all right, cool, I got Willpower DJs at Strokers. Willpower drinks, vodka and cranberry. All this is in my phone. So now when I come back and I see you, I already know.
Get this nigga his drink.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I already know. I know if he smoke. I know if he drink. Right. I know what he drink. I know kind of what everybody's vices are just from hanging out. And it was the one thing, and I'm going to tell you, this is kind of what flipped the switch for me. It was the one way I didn't have to spend money. I was going to strip clubs and trying to get the songs played, right? But I realized if I hung out in the DJ booth, the girls wouldn't bother me.
That's right.
So I didn't have to sit in the crowd and spend money getting dances and throwing bread. If I just hung out in the DJ booth, I could kind of hide.
That's right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But that hiding allowed me to kick it, talk to everybody. Then after a while, you realize, like, hold on, nobody else is up here with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now when other people's like, yo, how did you get y'all song played at the club? Oh, well, you know, I called DJ so-and-so. Yeah. And he was like, just pull up. And they like, how you know him? Right. Oh, man, shit, I just met him.
That's right.
And when you start to realize that other people were either too scared or just didn't have those connections, you like, hold on. I think I got something here. You know what I'm saying? Right, like, man. I think I got something that makes me different. Because mind you, keep in mind, at this point in Atlanta, this is late 90s, early 2000s, everybody's trying to do music.
That's right.
So if you just end up being one of a million people trying to just be here. Yeah. So it was like, I needed something to separate myself so people would be like, I need to call Nick for that. Yeah. And that's what it was, man. And the best thing I ever did was market myself.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like having a memorable name, like Nick Love is my real name. Yeah. And being able to talk the talk and move how I move, that set me apart immediately. And I was like, I'm doing this. I'm locked in. I'll never look anywhere else for something.
Speaking of the saturation that was in Atlanta, I read somewhere in an interview, and I was talking to Will and somebody else about that right before you came, about how I read somewhere that you said, you know what, I need to make some money. I'm going to go outside of Atlanta to these little cities around Atlanta and start building a network there where everybody trying to come to Atlanta. Let me get out of Atlanta.
Yeah, I was, okay, so I'm in Atlanta. This is I'm at DTP at this point. My man Goose, shout out to Goose. He gave me an opportunity to come in and work records for DTP. So mind you, this is like early Bobby V, Slow Down. This is Shauna was still, Shauna was dropping records. This is pre-Player Circle, or like Player Circle kind of came later on in the process. But this is, like I said, this is Bobby V records. So mind you, another mentor of mine, my guy Real Street Promotions. He had the all-female street team at the time. Like he was like, to me, the coolest. Another guy that I was like, he the coolest dude in the world. Yeah. He got a street team of 20, 30 females out here with the baby dog tees, and they working. And I was like, he driving, I think he had like a big BMW at that time. And I was like, this dude right here, man, like he is it. And I'm like, okay, I don't have no BMW. I don't have a 30 woman street team. I really don't even have no bread at this time, for real. So I'm like, I got to figure out how to make some money. So I lie. I tell Goose, I said, hey man, I can break records like out of town. I don't got to be here. I can do, holler DJs elsewhere. He said, now you know what? If you could do that, I can get you some money. Yeah. He said, because here we could do it honestly. We just giving you an opportunity to kind of save us some leg work. But if you was actually willing to like do that, and in my mind, like my mom is from Columbus, Georgia. Oh yeah. So I was like, I can just go to Columbus, get the record played down there, and that'll be my little hustle. But at a point, I was like, well, you know what? Columbus is like 2 hours away, but Macon's only like an hour and a half. Yeah. Maybe I can do Macon too. And then I just thought, like, again, the wheels are turning. Well, Chattanooga's only like 2 hours away. Birmingham 2 hours away.
Everything,
you know what I'm saying? Here. Everything is, and for those who have never figured it out, like the way that Atlanta became Atlanta in a lot of ways was that within 2 to 4 hours, there's so many other cities that we could hit that our music could spread to that it doesn't really work for other people, right? Like think about LA. When you're in LA, 4 hours from LA is LA. I mean, it's still Cali. You know what I'm saying? Essentially. Right. In Texas, if you're in Houston, 4 hours from Houston is still Texas. That's right. That's why a lot of stuff gets landlocked. But Atlanta, 4 hours from Atlanta puts you in Charlotte, in Tennessee, damn near Kentucky, damn near Mississippi, Florida, you know what I'm saying? And you hit everything. So your Atlanta music can spread very fast if somebody takes the time to work it. Yeah. And that was just kind of, like I said, it was a lot that kind of got me in the door, but it was like, oh, if you'll just give me gas money plus a couple bucks, I'm good. Yeah. And again, once I figured that out, that they would pay me for that, I started selling that to other people and say, hey man, I know the DJs down in Macon. I know the DJs in Birmingham.
I'll be there this weekend. Give me your stuff.
And so everybody's like, bet, man, here go $100. And then, you start picking up $100 here, $100 there. Now you like, I got a little something. Yeah. So a lot of my stuff, man, it really wasn't even hustling. It was stuff that I was legitimately passionate about that I did on a humbug, and I realized there's value in it. Man. And that's just been my calling card for years, is finding a way to add value to you, and anybody else.
Bro. That's it, man. Be of service.
Yeah. Be of service.
That's our thing, bro.
Be of service, man. Not enough people want to do that because everybody wants to kind of serve themselves.
Absolutely.
I'm blessed and I'm fortunate enough to be in a good financial position. I've made a lot of great decisions. Yep. I don't have a lot of vices. You know what I'm saying? I eat my money for sure. Yep. Hence Bite Life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But other than that, I'm not a Louis Gucci guy. I don't have like any expensive habits. So I'm in a position where now I can say no.
Yeah.
And I don't have to get a penny off of every dime that I make you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
bro.
so I can say, you know what, Will Power, I got something that's completely for you.
Yeah.
I don't even want nothing.
Yeah.
And Will Power's like, yo, Nick is my man. He just did it off the strength. And
right, man.
I've done it so many times that people just kind of respect what I do. And you know, and not just because I'm a pushover or some sucker. It's just like I genuinely like to help people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm a people person, and that's what served me well as a marketer.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man. Like your reputation is impeccable, man. Like almost everyone that I've ever run into who knows you, they all say the same things. It's like, you know, he's the guy to know. He's the person who can take this from here, or the phone call. It's that kind of stuff. I just recently was talking to some friends over at 1 RPM, and then I saw that you know, started working with them. Then of course there's my man in fan base, Isaac.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
my
I'm saying?
guy,
bro. Like to see you in all of these valuable places to the people, it's like that speaks. You know what I mean? So I think
I want everybody to win. I legitimately want everybody to win. Like I tell people all the time, bro, it's hard enough when you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So throw in a couple of fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? You can lose a lot of money and a lot of time.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I'm especially supportive of people who are doing things that are not necessarily just music, right? Like, come on, we know a ton of rappers, producers. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of a dime a dozen, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah.
When I saw Isaac start fan base, I'm like, bro, I want to support that.
Yes.
Because that's the thing that like when I started Bite Life, I never forget. I'm like, yo, I want to interview people while we eat food. And I remember people looking at me like I had 3 heads because they didn't understand that concept. Because mind you, this 2012. Yeah. This is pre-Action Bronson. Yeah, this is pre-seeing black people and young people on like Food Network and stuff. So I remember calling people like, yo, you know, can I interview him? We're going to go up to this restaurant. And everybody's like, huh? Well, I mean, so what we going to do? And I'm like, bro, we're just going to eat.
That's it.
I'll pay for the food. Right. And all you got to do is talk to me.
Man.
And I remember them just scratching their heads like, Nick's doing this weird thing. And then fast forward, everybody got a food show or something. Right. It's like, and I remember feeling like, damn, I wish I'd had somebody like me that was like, hey, I just want to support Nick because Nick is doing this cool thing that's going to add a platform to what we got going on. So now when you have something, when whoever, I'm like, I want to support that because I remember feeling that like, damn, bro, like people like me.
Yeah.
Everybody likes me.
Yeah.
But
who wants to help?
Who wants to genuinely just jump in and say, bro, I don't want nothing from you. I'm just gonna come support it because I feel like it needs support.
Man.
And you know, that's just like I said, that's just genuine from the heart.
I can relate to that, man. Like that's a great, but you're in a great space, man. Like, you know, that's a great space to be in. Because you know, it's a lot of people, man, who got help and let people down. It's a lot of people who didn't move right when they, you know what I'm saying? So like you're just in a good space. It's like you earned it all. It wasn't one of those things. In time, everything you're talking about is gonna come to fruition anyway.
Right.
So,
but I'm putting the shine on it, right? Like it was a lot of ugly times, right? Yeah. It was a lot of times where you dealt with people. Yeah. I've dealt with artists that I was like, damn, these people are completely ungrateful for the effort being put on, you know, on my behalf. There were times when the money was tight, you know what I'm saying? And so you know, I'm very like, as much as I do the, hey guys, my life is great and I just want to help. Yeah, I'm very like, I also do a scared straight version of Nick Love where I'm like, hey, you sure you want to do this? Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I got as many horror stories as I do the times that it worked out. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I have all the times where like I said, I speak very highly of Toomp is my man. Yeah. You know, then I speak very highly of Dallas Austin, Ludacris, Goose, the people who put me on. Yeah. I'm super appreciative of them because I'm here because of them. Yeah. And I've been able to make my way. And every time I do an interview, I shout out Jason McPhee. I shout out Real. I shout out Goose. I shout out Kinky B because Kinky B is who gave me the job at CTE. It wasn't Jeezy. Come on. I tell everybody that all the time.
You wear multiple hats, right? Right. Multiple things.
Literally.
And I've been preaching that forever because my thing is if you got an income coming in and you can pay your bills, that frees you up to do whatever you want to do. You can pursue your dream as a producer if you got money coming in.
Right. But for me, it was a necessity, right? So like I said, you know, anybody who knows me personally knows, especially if you knew me back when I was doing CTE, that was probably my proving grounds in terms of like preparing me for life and the business and the whole nine, in the best way and the worst way, right? So when I got with Jeezy and CTE, like I said, this is the very beginning. So a lot of people attribute, you know, Jeezy and stuff to me, which is, I love that because I was there in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, like, if you go get a job right now with like 2 Chainz, it's like nobody's giving you the credit for that because he's already who he is.
2 Chainz, right?
Yep.
I called Jeezy before he was Jeezy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was part of the growing process. The first 3-4 albums, the USDA album, the mixtapes, Can't Ban the Snowman, Trap or Die, all of these things.
Yeah.
The Snowman campaign, those things were iconic. And I was there for those things. You know what I'm saying? I was the one in the meetings and putting plays together and flying up to New York and meeting with Def Jam, doing the whole 9. But again, like I said, I'm lucky. You know what I'm saying? My dream, I remember sitting in like, you know what I'm saying, in my car, like maybe in like Augusta one day, like, man, one day when I'm like 30 years old, I'm gonna run the marketing for a label. That'll be like my dream job. Well, my dream came too. I was 22.
Yeah.
I met Kink. I was 22 years old, and I ended up the VP of marketing for CTE, and I was 22, but that was sheer luck. Like I said, mind you, I didn't even help. Like I said, when I met Kink at that tag office, I didn't help him. Another lady did, and she happened to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a chain of events that caused that to take place. That was just God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he could have easily walked out the door and the whole story's different, right?
The whole story different, right?
But I mean, I say all that to say I was lucky to get the opportunity that I got, and I made the most of it. However, there were a lot of growing pains because, mind you, Jeezy's young, Kink's young. This is early Coach K. Yeah. This is early Yusef. This is early Twin. This is all all the people that were there. Asha, our whole crew, Carbon 15, all my original CTE, Erica. Everybody that was there was young and learning, right? So we hit a lot of bumps in the road because we were young, a lot of immaturity, a lot of egos. And so I learned very quickly because of a falling out that me and Jeezy had. Yeah. Which we would always fall out, make up, fall out, make up, fall out, make up. That was just kind of the relationship that we had for years until ultimately we just got older and was like, okay, I'm good on that. All right, yeah, but healthy respect for each other. Yeah, for sure. But just like, we probably shouldn't do this. Yeah. Like, cause we just, I don't know if it's because I'm a Leo and he's a damn whatever the fuck he is. He's his birthday is like I think his birthday is the end of September. Yeah. I think he's like he's a Libra. He's a Libra. Yeah. So I don't know if it's dad. I don't know what it is, man. But I learned very on that this is the music business. Yeah. And that we are not family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as amongst ourselves, in our office, in our crew, on our tours, it was like we family. This is damn near gang, right? Yeah. But when we would fall out, it would be like, damn, if we fam, you sure are quick to cut me off, or you sure are quick to kind of stiff arm, and I'm like, gotcha, we not family. Yeah. And once I realized that, like once that illusion was kind of taken away, I was like, bet I know how to treat the rest of this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when weird things would happen, and honestly, to my personal detriment, because I started to treat my ex-wife at this point, my wife that way too, because like we would have issues and I would be like numb to everything, because I'm like, yo, like after dealing with that situation, it was like nothing bothers me now, right? So it's like we'd have issues at home or something would happen and I'm like, hey, that's life. Yeah, it happens. And my wife is like, you're so unemotional to everything, and I'm like, I don't know how I got, back then I'm like, I don't know why I'm this way. Now, in an age where everybody's able to kind of self-reflect and do some mental soul searching, it's like, gotcha. I know exactly how I got there. That's right. But at that time, I'm like, I don't know, just hey man, what it is. Somebody dies, it's just like, man, life is short. What are we doing tomorrow? You know what I'm saying?
You're speaking to me so much right now.
Hey, bro, listen, I got real stories about real life shit, and I think that's what makes me somebody that people kind of go to and like, bro, because I know Nick understands. Nick's been through having kids, being married, divorced, engaged now, being in this business, being super up, being back down, climbing back, persevering, building relationship. Like I kind of know, I can talk to you about it, literally any and everything. So if I tell you, like, I can go do a relationship podcast, I can go do music, I can talk to you about it all genuinely because I've been through so much. And so I always tell people, like, this business is not for the faint at heart, right? Yeah. This is not a business for the weak, because you'll get tested and tried every single day, either with somebody telling you no, or somebody closing the door, or somebody that you rocked with, or you thought rocked with you, looking at you sideways because you had some success and resenting your success, or shutting you out of an opportunity. You like, damn, but I thought we was, dang. Yeah, bro, like it's
crazy out here, bro.
Bro, like, hey man, like, listen, it ain't all glitz and glamour, shiny shit, man. Like, I think people people discredit what we do for a living because it looks cool, right?
Yeah, man.
You know, I do podcast interviews. I'm in the club. You know what I'm saying? I'm traveling. It's like, man, Nick has this dream job, but it's like, you said the operative word. It's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job. Don't ever remove that portion of it. Yeah. It's a job. It's work. I take it extremely seriously, and it's a slap in the face to anybody who treats my job like it ain't a job, or who only wants the perks of it and none of the
work. Right.
Yeah, all the perks, none of the work.
There it is.
I hate you guys.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back and stay positive and not let stuff get to you? Like when you told a story before about going up to a meeting at Def Jam and how they kind of clowned you a little bit. Like how do you especially when you look at Jeezy and you look at Coach K and they got to say, this is my marketing guy, and you just kind of got clowned. Like, how do you still go forward and not take that personal and still deliver the results?
All right, so that story for anybody who hasn't heard it is, early on in the Jeezy process. This is actually the first album. It's TM 101, and we flew up to New York to Def Jam, sit down, with the Def Jam staff, and I'm in charge of marketing, so I have to sit with the Def Jam marketing team to make sure everything is aligned. Yeah. And I remember sitting in this meeting. I remember who was in the meeting. Shouts out to Ashana. Shouts out to it's a few people that I remember from those days. And Yvette Davila, who is one of the sweetest people in the world. But I remember sitting in this meeting, and mind you, this is all hard scrabble, New York. This is prime Def Jam. Right. They're the Yankees at this point, right? Yeah. And here we come, the Atlanta guys from down there, and they're like, all right, Nick, so give us the plan. And I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this. So, okay, first of all, before I finish this story, can y'all pick up do I still have my Atlanta accent to y'all?
Yeah,
a little bit.
You still hear it? Okay, so but mind you, back then
it was real country.
It was real T.I. Bankhead, you know what I'm saying? It was the Atlanta. What else? We hadn't shouted it was that. So I'm telling them the marketing plan, and these New York women were like, what? Yeah. What does he say? He talks so fast. Slow down. And they're doing this in front of L.A. Reid. They're doing this in front of everybody. And I'm sitting there now mind you, Kink and Jeezy know exactly what I'm saying. Everybody that came with us understands me perfectly. Yeah. But it doesn't matter at this point because I'm talking to them. And I could see Kink and G. You know how you notice people kind of sliding away from you? Y'all got this. You got this, right? So I'm trying to present the plan, and these women are tearing me to shreds. Yeah. I think a little bit of it was on purpose because they was just let's just haze the country Atlanta guy. Yeah, yeah. But also because mind you, Kink and Jeezy, Kink especially talks way more country than I do, but they're giving him the utmost respect, right? But me, they're ripping me to shreds. And I remember coming home back to Atlanta being I got to get rid of this Atlanta accent. You know what I'm saying? That can't happen again. Yeah, that's not I literally wanted to crawl under the table and not ever, I remember they being we got to go back to New York. And I'm like, I'm going to be sick that day. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go because I didn't want to go through that. But it was a growing pain that I had to learn because you have to be able to communicate to people.
Yeah, boardroom etiquette, man.
Boardroom etiquette. Yeah. So I had to learn how to enunciate my words, talk a little slower, talk a little, use a few more big words or whatever you have to do to cater to the audience that I'm speaking to. Yeah. But I remember, like I said, now I can look back and laugh and tell the story. But I remember then being I am the dumbest, countryest, nigga on the face of the earth, man. And these people have found me out. Yeah. They have found out that I'm not as smart as I think I am. They found out that I shouldn't have this job. I'm not supposed to be here. And it's all been discovered in front of L.A. Reid, in front of Jeezy, in front of, you know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking
that's crushing, bro.
That might
crushing.
Me.
Yeah.
That might, how
crushing. Yeah. But like I said earlier in the interview, I've been a chameleon all my life. You know what I'm saying? I where I grew up at, my neighborhood was, I didn't come up in no project. I don't have no project story, right? Yeah. We always had, my neighborhood always had some wild shit go on. Yeah. And we always had wild kids in the neighborhood. So I grew up with a lot of gang stuff, a lot of fighting. And back then, Atlanta, and this is another thing I'll say, because I just did a story in Rolling Stone about the crime in Atlanta. Atlanta has never been a gang city. When I came up, we had gangs for 1 year in middle school, and then everybody was we used to do the gang stuff. We don't do that anymore. Yeah. It was always neighborhoods and streets, right? Yeah. So my neighborhood would have a crew, and we would fight other neighborhoods. We do all that. But then on Wednesday, I go to church. Not singing the choir, being my mom Sunday, I'm singing in the choir. So I knew how to be the church kid. I knew how to be the street kid. I knew how to go play football with the team, and now I'm the football guy. And I'm, I know how to hit and tackle and play defense. So I knew how to always turn it on, turn it off, depending on where I was. And that was just, to me, was just another opportunity to turn it on, turn it off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it crushed me initially, and like I said, really like rocked me for a while. Like, I don't know how to overcome this, and it was just like, nah, Nick, you do know how to overcome this, because when you would leave church on Sunday and then you go home, and on Monday it was a fight by the bus stop. You knew how to get out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So the same way you turned the church stuff off and picked up the street shit, and then turned the street shit off, went back to church on Wednesday, and then learned how to turn the street shit off and do football practice because you couldn't be on the team if you was in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
The same way I've always done that was the same way I realized, like, all right, cool, I just got to play it another way.
Got to play the business that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. A lot of people wouldn't have came back from that.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Nah, man. It just, like I said, prayer. Like, I think a lot of it, especially Southern kids, but especially Atlanta kids, man, for all the craziness and crime and everything that people kind of look at Atlanta. I mean, a lot of us are church kids.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of us are really, our mothers, our grandmothers, they always talk about praying grandmothers and all that stuff. Like, I believe, some of the hardest niggas I know, they mothers, they mothers and grandmothers were.
Yeah.
Drag your ass to church on Sunday.
That's right.
I don't care if you shot 3 people yesterday.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be in church on Sunday.
Don't care if you got shot.
Hey, you ain't gonna be in church on Sunday. You better get your ass up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a thing that's always been in me. So I think that has played a large part in my good fortune, because it wasn't always good fortune. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I could tell a million stories about how the times that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I could tell a million stories about the time. Hell, me and Ray, I just told Ray a story. Maybe earlier this year, we working on this book. I remember telling Ray, like, man, I remember I used to be jealous of Ray.
Yeah.
Really used to be like annoyed with Ray. And then realized, like, hold on, maybe I'm a little jealous of Ray. Then I realized, like, oh no, there's no need for me to be any of that, which is different.
Yeah.
I remember me and Ray met each other very early on in our careers. I've known Rock City, you know what I'm saying, and Ray and them for shit since I was around that same time when I was at CTE.
Yep.
And as we kind of grew in the industry, I remember Ray Daniels telling me, getting some opportunities. And I was just looking at him like, how the fuck he get that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, I didn't understand it because I'm a worker. Mm-hmm. And I never saw Ray as a worker. Mm-hmm. Ray was a talker.
Yeah.
And to the point where I would be like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Just feel away. Like, hold on, I'm working so hard.
Yeah.
But Ray is getting some amazing opportunities that I didn't. But finally, one day, and I don't even know how it kind of came about, I realized, like, oh, rather than being jealous, that's a skill I need to acquire.
That's right.
That thing that he does, where he's able to go in the room and negotiate, and he understands, and he talked that shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't need to be mad with my boy. Because we friends, mind you. Right. This is just a friend really kind of secretly hating on a friend, really, like, not outwardly, but just more so like, man.
That's free game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's fine.
But I realized, like, nah, I need to learn what he does. Mm-hmm. And once I kind of picked up that from Ray, I learned to acquire a lot of the things that my other partners were doing. Because I was like, I work. No one's ever going to outwork me. And that's a great skill to have.
Yes. For
sure. But it's a skill that some people will overlook. Mm-hmm. Especially in the music business, because it's a shiny business, right? So people like the look of it. So my man Biddy, who y'all may know, I don't know if y'all have had Biddy on the show.
Biddy Barnes.
Yeah, Biddy Barnes is like my big brother.
Man.
Biddy was the one who was like, hey Nick, you gotta start dressing like something. You can't wear cargo sweatpants and 3X t-shirts the rest of your life. They're never gonna take you seriously as an executive. And I remember being like, that's so fucking shallow. Like, I work and I do my thing. Why I gotta dress up and play this game?
Right.
And I realized, like, well, maybe he's onto something. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm glad you said that, because that's something I struggle with.
And I hope I'm not talking y'all to death, bro.
No, this is amazing, bro. This is amazing, man. But I struggle with that because I have ownership. I got my own shit. I'm like you. I keep my head down. I work. But what I don't do is dress up and play the game when I should sometimes. Right. And I know when I blew some plays because I wasn't that guy. And so those are definitely the things that I think. I appreciate you speaking on that, because it's game that even a person because I've been in the business a long time too. So even hearing that now makes me understand, that this is something that we all need to pay attention to. You can't just.
Everything matters.
Everything
y'all
matters.
Y'all ever watch The Wire? And the police are like, all the pieces matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so free game, for sure. Look the part.
Yeah.
You know, look the part, be the part. You know what I'm saying? You ever see, right. Again, watching The Wire, remember they do the basketball game? And Prop Joe was out there with the suit. Yeah. He's like, yo, why you out here in the 90-degree weather? You looking like Pat Riley. He's like, look the part, be the part, motherfucker. Look the part, be the part, motherfucker. That's free game to y'all. Like, it matters, especially in a business where everybody's drawn to the flash.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So people, unfortunately, would treat you based on what they see. My man DJ Big X would say, you know, people eat with their eyes. And I was like, yo, that's super game. You know what I'm saying?
Super game.
If it looks successful, it is successful.
Come on, man.
If it looks rich, it is rich. Now we know how much bullshit that could be.
That's right.
However, have you ever seen the people's reaction to something that they thought was successful, thought was rich, thought somebody that was moving, and you like
90% of this shit out here is that way.
So every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Now, I was never the guy that was like, I'm going to go into debt playing a game, right? I'm not finna go get a car I can't afford, a house I can't afford and play that game. However, I did realize that, you know what? Sometimes I got to throw on a suit.
That's right.
Sometimes I got to, get a nicer watch just because
you're right.
People are going to look.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I know I just want to throw on these shoes real quick and run to the store, but maybe I should pull on the J's and like care a little bit more today because you just never know, right? You run to a person. Because I'll never forget this. I remember this. I used to be in love with this girl, and her name was Shamaria, and we went to school together when we were younger. But I'll never forget. We dated for a little while. We broke up, and every time I would run into her, it would be the day that I just threw some shit on. So I'd run to the grocery store, I'd run to Subway or something to get a sandwich. Here she is, and I'm looking crazy.
That's how it happens.
Every other day I'm fresh. I run into her that day and I'm like, come on. Like today, like the day that I just slapped on a purple shirt with some pink shorts and some brown socks and my oldest pair of shoes, here she is. And I'm like, she's going to think I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And but that's the music business, bro.
Stay ready, you don't gotta get ready.
You know, especially young ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately for them, it's even tougher.
It's way tougher.
So, you know, women are like, I just want to throw a hat on or throw my hair in a bun and go to the studio and record some shit. It's like, no, you just never know.
Never know.
What happens if Nick Love walks in?
That's right.
And, you know, you hear and you dress down and you just recording.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you just recording.
Yeah.
But that might be the day that everything could change. And
that's right.
They made a snap judgment on you.
Yeah.
And now
it's over.
Hey, man, you got to always be on.
Let's talk about the new job, man. 1 RPM.
1 RPM is great.
Oh, you got something?
No. I want to talk about all the new stuff too, but I can't let the moment pass by. Your marketing guy to not skip over the whole Snowman campaign.
Yeah.
With that's got to be one of the top 5 marketing campaigns in hip hop music history. Top 5. Got to be. Tell me about that. How did that come about, and what was that like?
All right, the Snowman actually is a Coach K idea. So Coach K, for everybody who ever wondered, Coach K was the guy who really came up with the Snowman. I mean, you know, it came from Jeezy rapping.
For sure.
But Coach was the one who was like, maybe we should do like this angry snowman. And from Coach's idea came, all right, cool. When we get ready to do the boards and the street team stuff and the promo, we're not going to put anything on the board except the snowman. So if y'all remember, and that was my part. So it was like, hey guys, you know, like if y'all remember those posters from back in the day, it didn't say Snowman, Jeezy coming soon.
None of
all
that.
These letters and words. It was just a snowman.
Yeah.
And you had to be in the know
to know what it was.
And that to me was what made it cool, right? Because Jeezy's whole steez at that time with the lingo, everything he's saying, you had to know to know.
You gotta know.
He's using terminology, he's using words that if you don't know,
you don't know.
He's just saying some stuff and you just like, it sound cool, whatever. But if you knew, you knew.
Yeah.
The Snowman, the imagery of that was the same thing. Like, I wanted people who had no idea who Jeezy was, CTE, hadn't heard the music to be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I wanted people that know to be like, that's that Snowman shit. Hey, bro. Oh, y'all don't know? Y'all ain't heard? Oh, that was the thing, man, of keeping it extra simple. Like, and that came from like looking at like baseball, you know, hell, our hats. That A on these Atlanta Braves hats, the G on the Georgia Bulldog, those things are they say what they are without saying much. That A means everything, especially to somebody from Atlanta. That G on that Georgia Bulldog helmet means everything. Yeah. And most logos, especially with sports teams in particular, because I'm a big sports fan, everything is very simple and just it is what it is. And again, you have to know, and it signifies something to other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you see somebody with an A hat on, you're like, from the city. You know what I'm saying? Or like, what's up?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or especially out of town people. Like when I see people with a Detroit hat on here in Atlanta, I'm like,
calling card,
because Atlanta niggas won't wear, they just won't do it. We will not wear, you're never catching a real Atlanta nigga with a Yankee hat on or a Chicago, like we don't really do that. Yeah. So when I see somebody in the Detroit Tigers hat with just that D on it, I'm like, what's up? You from
D?
Yeah, bro,
Every
I'm from the D.
Right.
LA Dodgers hats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
Raiders.
The Raiders. Like those are calling cards for that. And so mind you, like, and the Raiders is actually where the inspiration came from. The Raiders, the Snowman is basically the Raiders logo. You know what I'm saying? Just in street form. So if you look at it, remember how that played. That's where we got that from.
That is so fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I couldn't skip over that part.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, that Snowman, like I said, that Snowman and all that is how translate to coalition starting. How I started coalition DJs. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta talk about that. Yo,
look, we so much to say,
Let's
right?
go, man.
Coalition DJs is just the DJs that I broke Jeezy through. It's the, you know what I'm saying? They weren't a crew at the time. Mind you, we were in the era of crews. Real had Super Friends. Drama and them had affiliates at the time. That was Cannon and all those guys. My man Casper had Hitmen. My guy Ray Hamilton had Legion of Doom. So these were all these crews.
All of them, bro.
Yeah, so if you remember, got some Super Friends in the Legion of Doom. I'm an affiliate. I know Hitmen. Those were all DJ crews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was the smartest thing Jeezy ever did because he got everybody like,
yeah.
And so now everybody want to play the record, right?
Damn, right.
But even then, and this is, again, shout out to Casper, shout out to Ray, shout out to Real, everybody. A lot of, the first original coalition DJs were DJ Nando, rest in peace, DJ X-Rated, DJ Funky, DJ Big X. Funky and X were in Legion of Doom. Nando was with Nothing. I think X-Rated might have been Hitman, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. The biggest complaint that the DJs had was, we're not getting paid. We're breaking these records and we're not getting paid. Or the main guy, our manager, whoever, he's getting paid. They're just giving us the music, some t-shirts, maybe throwing us a couple bucks. Yeah. And we're unhappy. We want to do something else. So me and Big X got together. I was managing Jagged Edge's studio at the time, Jawai, out in Decatur. And me and Big X got together to get him some office space. And while he had the office space, we sitting around talking. I'm like, bro, like, I can do this. I know the dynamics of the crew. I've already dealt with y'all anyway to help break the records. I know exactly what to do. And again, the luxury of having some money coming from Jeezy, because I was well taken care of. I don't need to steal from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to take anything from y'all. So then this is the genuine heart of Nick. It's like, I can get everybody paid and I don't have to take much from y'all to do it. Yeah. If your biggest complaint with every other crew is that y'all feel like y'all are not getting your just due, here you're going to get your just due. I got you. If I collect $4,000, I'll take my little 10%. Everything else is going to y'all. And I'll keep it above board. I'll keep everything very transparent. You'll see the money as it comes in. It'll never get weird. And everybody's like, bet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And again, my transparency and my willingness to be like, no, I don't need to hide nothing from y'all. It's cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, I'll take the short end. Yeah. If y'all just rock out and do what y'all supposed to do. And you just never know, man. Sometimes the good guys win, right? Sometimes doing good business wins. Yes. And to this day, Coalition's still in effect. I left Coalition the end of 2015 just because just burnout. Yeah. Just genuine, I'm tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the guys are still going, still thriving. I still bring people over to New Music Monday, which they still do to this day, something that we started, in the city in 2010, 2011, we started New Music Monday. And it's still going to this day. So but again, like I said, I think consistency has been my number one calling card as well. Like, if you just show up, because New Music Monday wasn't always, it's something that y'all may not know. New Music Monday, as the Coalition DJs do, was never intended to be what it was. It was really my meeting to pay the guys. Wow. A client would come in and they would give me money on, say, like a Wednesday. Yep. And I'd be like, damn, like, I need to get this money to y'all. And I didn't want to go drive to Onyx to get to Nando, drive to Strokers to get with Funky. I said, yo, can we just meet? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just meet. And we met on a Monday night one time, and I paid everybody their money for a client. And Rocco called Funky. And Rocco was like, hey, man, I need to pull up on you. And Funky says, I'm sitting here with Nick Love and X-Rated. We all together. Pull up.
Pulled up and performed.
He didn't perform. He just played his record. And we was like, you know what? Why don't we just tell people to pull up on us on Mondays? Wow. And just do it that way. That way, because ideally, if they could pay me on Monday and I wouldn't have to hold the bread for 3-4 days waiting on y'all would already be here. They get to see y'all. We can do everything in one big wop. And that's how New Music Monday started.
That's
Nice.
fine.
And then we just said, we just do this every Monday.
Damn.
And some weeks we had nobody, but then before you know it, 2-3 artists pulling up, 2-3 artists pulling up, 2-3 artists, to the point where we had a waiting list of like, hey man, we can't see 10 people. We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're just gonna do 5. And every week for 5. And so now from 2010 to 2022, they're still seeing artists every single Monday, multiple
crazy
artists, bro.
as hell,
But
bro.
consistency, man, just got to show up sometime.
Come on, man.
And it's growing too. I know other cities have.
Yeah, it's Coalition DJ. Like before I left, we had started Coalition Detroit,
Yep.
Coalition Carolinas. There's now Coalition DJs in Texas, Tennessee. Like it's grown, bro. Like it's the DJ culture, which I'm a huge fan of. Something that I always want to be like I want to be a DJ. Like I can't DJ, but like I'm in love with the culture of it, right? Like, and it looks so easy, but it's so not.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things in the world, bro. Like, and my DJs made it look so cool. I would go to the club and sit in the booth with them, and they would have whole conversations with me, take shots, talk to girls, smoke some weed,
And never miss a
beat. I remember learning the DJ and being like, "Don't talk to me. Hold on, I have to concentrate to figure out what song." And I'm like, "How do y'all do this? Like, how do y'all
Like muscle
drink
memory.
all night long
and still be killing
and carry on conversation? Leave the booth, go to the bathroom, come back, whoop, whoop, whoop." And I'm like, I'm still fans of the guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's crazy. So, new project manager.
Yeah,
at,
1RPM.
1RPM.
Yeah.
What does that entail? What do you do there?
So I handle all of the marketing for our hip hop, R&B, and gospel artists at 1RPM. It's a digital. For anybody who's not familiar with 1RPM, it's a digital marketing. Digital music distribution company with marketing services.
Nice.
So we are direct competitors with Empire.
Yep.
Create, Foundation, companies like that. So and we got our sights set on being the #1 music distributor, in the world. Like we just matter of fact, Billboard just put out a list of like the top 20 distributors, and we're like number 12 on the list.
That's super dope.
And it's been dope, man. Orlando McGee,
Yep.
he brought me in. Orlando, who I'd known for years.
Good dude.
Great dude.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that you pass like kind of at functions, like, "Oh, Orlando, what up?" We speak, be real cordial, but I'd never worked with him. Working with him, man, Orlando's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Orlando's one of the best A&Rs that I've seen.
Yeah.
One of the best negotiators I've seen. He knows the music business in and out. Now, it's only maybe 2 people, and he's one of the 2 that I would be like, I've never seen somebody whose brain works the way that it does. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of brilliant people in this business, but it's hard to find somebody who's worked at all the different stops, that's done the marketing, done the legal, done the A&R side, done the management side, that just understand the business in its totality. Because I don't have that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a creative mind who understands marketing, and that's what I do.
Yes, sir.
Orlando understands
All of it.
all of it. So talking to him is like, yo, like I just soak up game every day, and he's so dope, man. And he signed some really amazing artists. We got on the hip hop side, we got Method Man, we got Goody Mob, we got CeeLo, we got Cuban Doll, we got Yellow Wolf, we got Bobby Shmurda, we got Jim Jones and Mano, we got, we got Dietrich Haddon on the gospel side. We got an artist that I really, really love, a girl by the name of BB. She's a songwriter and an artist out of Compton. We got Kasky, who's on the road right now. Who's signed. Yeah, we got some dope artists that I love, man, and I'm super excited about where we're going with everything.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, man. I happen to be friends with a couple people over there, man. Emmanuel.
You know Emmanuel, okay?
Yeah. So and that came through the Yellow Wolf Connect. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my history, but.
And the company is growing.
It's
by the way,
crazy.
like it's. I think it's what the dog at? Because I watch so many artists kind of other like up and coming artists kind of dismiss that type of success because they're like, man, I really want to be, and I'm like, yeah, of course, everybody wants to be Future. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't really made for everybody to be Future.
Yeah.
But if you can be Freddie Gibbs,
You good.
you be happy.
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs does extremely well.
Extremely well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Has some fans that love him. He puts out good quality music. He tours.
Yeah.
He's getting opportunities in Hollywood now. Like
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs has an amazing career.
That's right.
And he doesn't even have to play the
Yeah.
other game, right? You know what I'm saying? And
And
hell,
he'll be
I would-
here forever. Like
man.
as long as he wants to continue to provide for those fans, those people ain't going nowhere.
And that's, and me and you was talking while he was switching everything out, like that's kind of where everything else came from. When we talk about Bite Life,
Yeah.
some of the other stuff I did, I just tapped into people that were like me, and fed those people. with Bike Life, it was a thing where I realized like I'm not, coming from that conversation with Biddy about trying to, turn it up on the fashion side. And I'm like, you know what, like I can get dressed and I have a good eye for stuff, but like that's not really my strength.
Yeah.
But the food thing I knew really, really well because I was out till 3-4 o'clock in the morning every night at studios with whoever artist I was working with, and I needed something to eat. And I was tired of eating McDonald's every day. But I realized there was a bunch of people just like me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of folks who were in the music business who were like, bro, I've eaten Crystals every day. I've eaten Waffle House every day. I've eaten, what else is out there? And I'd be like, hey man, such and such is open till like 2 o'clock in the morning too. Or such and such is open 24 hours. That's how we discovered, like Art Thomas was one of the first things that everybody discovered, like, we don't have to eat Waffle House?
Yeah.
This is fantastic, because I hate Waffle House. I think Waffle House is the most disgusting shit. And I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I tell people Waffle House is horrible.
Yeah.
People who want to visit Atlanta, Waffle House is the wackiest place you'll ever eat at in your life, and I have no qualms about saying it.
Yeah.
When I discovered Art Thomas, I was like, thank you.
Yes.
A place I can go 24 hours. That's good food.
Yeah. The wings bust.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen, the French toast with the bananas
Come on,
bust and the bacon. Like, I really, and as I was telling people about these spots that I was finding, like going to hotels and like finding like the restaurants that we opened in the hotel, everybody like, damn, Nick, like, what else is out there?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I started catering to those people.
That's smart.
I didn't want to be, I remember, when I first started Bike Life, I was getting invited to all these like fancy events, and it would be nothing but either like professional chefs or like housewives who had turned into like bloggers.
Yeah.
And I'm the only black guy in there. And the only thing that separated me from those people was the fact that I knew 2 Chainz. You know what I'm saying? I knew Jeezy. I knew the rappers. So they would be like, who's this black dude?
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, you do music? Do you know? You get that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, actually, I do.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was kind of became my calling card in the food space of like, Nick's the food guy that knows the music stuff.
Yeah.
And what really turned me out was that, I started posting stuff on Facebook, and my friends who I went to high school with or in college with who were my age were experiencing the same thing. Like, bro, like, I don't want to go to the club. I just want to go get a nice dinner with some fly. And I'm like, man, I know all the fly spots because I'm the one who has enough money to go eat, spend $100 for lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey man, for real, you want to take your girl somewhere for your anniversary, you ought to go pull up over here. Or, so that I became the guy that everybody was like, call Nick if it's your birthday, your anniversary, it's Valentine's Day. He knows all the spots.
And I will moving forward.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like that became the thing of just serving an audience. Like, and like I said, my marketing mind has always been like, how can we serve a very specific niche of people who need the thing that I'm trying to give them. I don't want to force feed, anybody. I don't want to, put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
Who are the people who are 30 years old, who do not want to stand on the couch no more, who do not want to, buy bottles all night, but still want to hang out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure y'all know this, hip hop especially is like, we always say it's a young man's game, right? Yeah. Everything is kind of built to be young.
Yeah.
But once you kind of, like if you're my age, right, we're not our parents, right? So it's not time to put us to pasture.
That's right.
But we're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you do for this middle ground of people who are like, I still want to kick it, but I don't want to kick it with y'all.
Yeah.
But I don't want to kick it with my parents either. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do we go? Mm-hmm. And that became my thing. Like, I gotta find clubs, lounges, experiences, activities, restaurants, whatever, that are like, hey man, if you're 35 years old,
that's where you need to be.
Here's the fly movie theater to go to. Yeah. Here's the fly steakhouse. Here's the fly lounge where you ain't gonna run into your daughter or your son while you're in there. Yeah. Here's the fly spot that's not for like 60, 70-year-olds, but it's like the thing. And it's the same thing with the sneakers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how I got into the sneakers too. Like fashion, I'm a mannequin guy. Like I'll walk in the store like, oh, I like that. Yeah. Give me that in my size. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I know how to like switch it up a little bit. Like, all right, cool. I like that. If we switch the shirt, kind of add a little some socks to it, we got it. But sneakers was always my thing, right? Okay. And I never, but I tell you this, it was a girl I was dating. She was into classic Jordan. She was the one who told me like, hey man, like Jordan never actually wore the yellow and turquoise Jordans. You can't wear those. Right. That looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, And I was like, oh, damn, I never looked at it that way. She was like, Nick, if you gonna do this, you can only wear, like, she was a hardcore, like, classic sneakers. That was her thing, like, Nick, classic sneakers. Only the shit that Jordan actually wore, the colorways that he actually wore. Damn. It changed my whole perspective on the sneaker game. And I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. I know, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now a lot of stuff I wear is specifically either like classic shit or stuff that I know is gonna, the value is gonna increase. Yeah. Over the years, man. And there was always an entry point. Cause again, people my age were like, hey man, I like sneakers too. But I don't be knowing.
Right.
I'm not, keep in mind, like, we cool. Yeah. We're the first generation of like cool 30 somethings, right? 40 somethings that are like cool. Yeah. Your parents weren't cool.
Right. At all.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. None of our parents were cool. Right. They're great people. Yeah. They wasn't cool. Yeah. We're the first generation of like parents that our kids are like, we kind of kick it like them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was always like, okay, I want to be hip enough that my kids are like, okay, my dad know a little something, but not so damn childish that people my age are like,
that he got on turquoise.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I ain't know. They Jordans. Right. You know what I'm saying? They Jordans or they Air Max. You like, hey, whatever. Yeah. Then somebody kind of put you on like, gotcha. Yeah. Yep. She helped me develop my eye, man. So now it's all about the classic sneaks.
Do you see yourself like opening a restaurant?
Nah, hell no. Nah. So one thing I'll never do is open a restaurant or a club. Okay. I've thrown enough parties and made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I've done Bite Life and met every chef, GM in the city. That's a hard business to be in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a very hard business to be in. Now, I'll help you. If you want to open one, I'll come do your marketing. Yeah. The best thing I can ever tell anybody, and this is more free game, once I lean into my marketing,
it's on.
Once I really because in the music business, what you'll find is that, and I'm guilty of this. I would be in the studio and I'm like telling somebody like, hey man, you ought to rap it like this. You ought to, hey WLPWR, like that's a dope chord you just played. But if you did the, and WLPWR looking like, I'm the producer here. Like, I'm, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't mean nothing by it. I'm just trying to give you my thing. But once I realized, like, you know what? I'm not an A&R for a reason. I'm not a producer for a reason. There's a reason that WLPWR is the producer. Ray is the A&R, so-and-so is the, whatever they are, and there's a reason that I'm the marketing guy. And once I was like, oh, I no longer have opinions about how this plays out. Like, you signed them? Yeah. Great. Give them to me, I'll do the marketing. And once I got there, I've been unstoppable.